Hello there, and welcome to my All About That Place presentation. My name's Daniel Loftus, and I'm a genealogist based in Cork, in Ireland. And I want to talk to you a little about my passion project, Project Infant. And I just want to kind of expand more on what it is because I feel like whenever I've done this work publicly, I've been very quick to, I suppose, talk about now and the work I'm doing with it, but I never really talk about why it started or how it all started. So I just want to illustrate how it started and also the impact that my work has had on trying to understand this part of Irish history. So I suppose the good place to start is what is Project Infant? What is it? Why did it start? Where did it start? And I've got three little icons there, each representing something different. And the first reason is this. This is a photo of Besborough House in Cork City near Mahon Point Shopping Centre, and it used to be a 200-acre estate, and it's a huge mansion of a house. And this is where my mother's life began. She was born in Besborough House in 1970, to her mother, and we had known that she was adopted, and we went on this whole literal journey to try and get a better understanding of her roots and where she came from. And it wasn't until I did a bit of preliminary Googling into what it was when we got her birth cert that said Besborough House, we didn't know what it was. It didn't take long for me to realize that Mum was very lucky getting out of there. The second reason would have been, could I maybe have a potential relative? The screenshot on the left that you see is an image of an article by a publication newspaper media source here called The Journal, where they published the names of those who died in the Chew Mother and Baby Home, researched by Catherine Corliss. And a cousin had come to me and said, "Do we happen to be related to this child who died?" Because obviously we share the same surname, and having a lot of family who know that I'm the family genealogist, they will ask me stuff like this. And after I did a bit more research, I realized that no, this John Patrick Loftus was not really connected to us. He was based a bit away from where my family was in Mayo, but it could have very well been my relative. Um, he could very well be, but distantly. So that would have been the second reason. And the third reason, and this is kind of what toppled it all over with the previous two, was when I used to interview figures in the genealogy community. I had interviewed American genealogist Megan Smoleniak, and it was one question that I asked all my guests, and that was, what does genealogy mean to you? And her quote back to me was to give a voice to the forgotten. And for whatever reason, that just set me on a rabbit hole trying to see, okay, let me think. Is there a database that remembers or records the names of those who died in mother and baby homes around Ireland? Because there was ones for Tuam, but I didn't find much for any other one. And sure enough, there wasn't. And I thought that, there would have been something done uh, by the government when the report came out about almost a year and a half after I started this, about a year and a half after the final report came out in January 2021. And so on that note, Project Infant was born. And obviously the logo has had a bit of a redo since then, but I'm happy with how it looks now. Um, but people think it's rather complex in terms of how this is done. But the process in which that I conduct research into Project Infant is applicable in many other situations. So if you've got an institution in your area that you want to look into, it's very easily done. Depending on record availability and costing, of course. As I know that is not necessarily the uh most convenient for every locality. So how is it done? So in Ireland, if you do Irish genealogy, this will you'll probably already be familiar with this and you can probably guess how it's done. But we have this website in Ireland called irishgenealogy.ie and it records um it has all civil records from 1864 to 1923, births, 48 for marriages and 73 for deaths. And it has been a must have whenever you do genealogy because with the civil records, it allowed me to kind of search by district. And in this case, Besborough was Cork. So I knew that I was looking for Cork district. And a lot of it is a bit of a slog where it will involve you looking at hundreds and hundreds of entries just to find the ones that relate to what you were looking for. So specifically, I was looking for Besborough House, but little did I know at the time I was going to be needing St Finbarr's Hospital as well, because Besborough didn't have a hospital until the 1930s. So um, we it would have been St Finbarr's Hospital as well for deaths. And then once we had that data collated, we then stick that into a spreadsheet where once I have that all in a spreadsheet, I create individual pages that people can look at and I upload them all onto the Project Infant website. So that'll allow people to look at A to Z's of a list of everyone who died in a mother and baby home and can look to see if they may or may not be related to a child who is on the website itself. In terms of the impact it's had, I can't go into many personal cases with that I have helped people with, but I've I'm surprised at how much of an impact this has had, and it really didn't become clear until rather recently when I've been able to help some people, trace back their ancestry, or they asked me for advice on how to further research someone that they realized had been in a mother and baby home, as I've had a few of those by now. And, people have said to me, we wouldn't realize or we wouldn't know about this if it wasn't for this site. And here's me thinking this wasn't really going to do much and I was going to have this all done in a month. That's how um that's how much of a difference this has kind of made. Because it's my niche, it's my area that I like to explore and it's it goes to show by the figures. And I know a lot of things come back to figures, but every name that you see or every number that you see there represents a child who or a mother who died in a mother and baby home that are slowly being restored back to public memory. And a lot of this has been done primarily with the help of many volunteers who share a similar desire to help record the names and dates of children who and mothers who died in mother and baby homes. Because without them, I'd be on my own and I would not have gotten anywhere close to what this is now. So volunteering is a force for good, and it proves it every day. I get to work with volunteers who are passionate with what they do and the way they record names, and they make all of this available. And I can be uploading names while they're doing research, and I'm not having to try and split my time between the two. I can focus on certain things as well. And I know this has been rather brief and all, but sometimes that is what you need to kind of provoke interest in something. So if you are wanting to learn more about how to be a volunteer and the work that we do, you can go to projectinfant.ie/volunteer. And if you like what it involves and you want to be a part of this, uh, go fill in the contact form and I'll get back to you in terms of how to be a volunteer and how to join the team. And again, whistle stop tour, but I try. Thank you for listening. Honestly, I'm hoping that this will kind of intrigue you to try and learn about this period of Irish history and to learn more about Project Infant and what it does on a day-to-day basis. And if you want to keep up with me or Project Infant, these are our social channels, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.